Hello, everybody. Well, it's that time of the year again. The NCAA Tournament. What do I have got to say about this year? Well, let's just look back at last year's tournament. So last year, I had the correct matchup in the championship, right? But I had the wrong winner. Last year, I had Gonzaga over Baylor, but Baylor ended up being Gonzaga. So, the two times I've correctly, picked the correct matchup. First was North Carolina over Gonzaga. I got that one correct. And then last year, well, the first time was 2017 that happened. That was North Carolina over Gonzaga. But last year when I picked Gonzaga over Baylor. It was awesome that I got the correct matchup, but did not get the correct winner. And this year, looking at this year's bracket, I'd say this year's winner is up in the air. And that may actually be a bad thing for me, because when I don't know who's going to win, usually I end up picking the wrong winner, or my bracket gets busted pretty damn quick. But you know what? This is all for fun. I don't really watch a ton of college basketball, at least not this season. I've really been focusing on self-improvement. And also, the pandemic got me realizing that, I don't really need sports in my life. It's fun and all, but at the same time, I just enjoy watching with other people more so than I enjoy watching it with, on my own. And I'll be watching with other people I'll be watching these games with other people. There's some watch parties I'm going to go to in the area. And I'll probably be mentioning a few other things while I'm working on this bracket, but let's just go ahead and just jump into this before I ramble on a little bit more. Again, the one seeds this year are Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, and Baylor. Baylor, the reigning champion. Yeah. None of them are really big surprises. But, anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm pressing record on my Mac to record this, and it's recording. Okay, here goes. Okay, so we got Gonzaga versus Georgia State, a 1 versus 16. Obviously, I'm going to be picking Gonzaga. Oh, there we go. I'm going to pick Memphis over Boise State. Memphis has a disappointing freshman, Moe Bates. I heard he possibly might not play. Well, he's not a freshman. He was a big-time recruit coming out of high school and just decided to leave high school early and go in college. UConn versus New Mexico State. This right here is a potential upset, but I'm going to pick UConn. Yeah, I'm going to pick UConn. Of course, I'm going to pick Arkansas or Vermont. Although, it wouldn't be too surprising if Vermont beat them. But let's go Hogs. Am I right? That's one of my teams. I have another team in this bracket this year too. And then we got Alabama versus a play-in winner. This play-in game in particular is Rutgers versus Notre Dame. I'm picking Rutgers. I can't really pick the play-in games. I think we should be allowed to, but yeah, I'm actually gonna pick the winner of this game to beat Alabama. Although if Notre Dame wins, I'm not gonna pick them to win. And then, okay, right over here, I'm Texas Tech versus Montana State. This is probably gonna be maybe my biggest upset on my bracket, but I'm crazy. I tend to pick a lot of I pick too many upsets. Let's just put it that way. Except for 1 year, I tend to pick too many upsets. Actually, last year I didn't pick that many upsets, but I'm picking this crazy one right here. Then we got Michigan State versus Davidson. I'm going to pick Davidson. I think they can win their first tournament game since Steph Curry was on the team. And I'm going to pick Duke over Cal State Fullerton. It's Coach K's last year, so I'm I'm actually picking them to go pretty deep because it's his last year and because, let's win it for Coach K. Anyways, by the way, this is the West Regional. Forgot to mention that. I'm going to pick Gonzaga to beat Memphis. And I'm going to pick Arkansas to beat UConn. And this matchup right over here, Gonzaga versus Arkansas. That matchup, if it will happen, will be at the Chase Center in San Francisco. And if this is the particular matchup, if Arkansas can survive UConn or New Mexico State and also Vermont in the first round, they'll go to the Sweet 16 and probably play Gonzaga. And I plan to be at that game. Yeah. I plan to be at that game. Anyway, let's moving down. Let's see here. I'm going to pick Rutgers, if that's them, to beat Montana State. And I'm going to pick Duke to beat Davidson. That's actually an in-state matchup, Duke versus Davidson. They're both in the great state of North Carolina. All right. I said Montana State over Texas Tech was my biggest upset. This might be up there as well for my biggest upset. Yes, I'm picking Arkansas to beat Gonzaga. Yes. And I'm going to pick Duke to beat Rutgers. And this matchup here will also be at the Chase Center in San Francisco. But I might be priced out of it, to be honest with you. Especially after this matchup happens. I plan to be there. Okay, that's the West Regional. I'm going to pick the winner of it towards the end of the video. So stay tuned. Let's just go ahead and move over to this is the South Regional. Okay. I'm going to pick Arizona over the winner of this playing game. This game's not going to even matter. I'm going to be picking Wright State in it. And we're going to pick Seton Hall over TCU. Houston versus UAB. Houston was in the Final Four last year. I did not expect them to get that far, but they did. I'll pick them to beat UAB, and I'll pick Illinois over Chattanooga. Chattanooga, I actually drove by them in November, and I'd pick them in this round if it wasn't against Illinois. I think Illinois is just too good. Kofi Cockburn. That's a hell of a name. Yeah, we're not going to do any sort of, jokes about that last name, but you get what I mean. I'm going to pick I'm going to pick Colorado State over Michigan. Yeah, I don't think Michigan should even be in the tournament. I'll pick Tennessee over Longwood. Longwood's in the tournament for the first time ever. Thought I'd bring that up. Then we have Ohio State versus Loyola Chicago. And I'm going to go with Sister Jean on this one. I really didn't want to pick Ohio State to lose in the first round 2 years in a row, but oh well. I'll pick Villanova over Delaware. Let's see here. I'll pick Arizona to beat Seton Hall. And I'll pick Illinois over Houston. I'll pick Tennessee over Colorado State. And I'll also pick Villanova over Loyola Chicago. And I'll pick Tennessee over Villanova. And, okay, this is all snubs. I'm picking Illinois over Arizona. And, one thing I forgot to mention about Tennessee. I picked them to go to the Final Four last year because I thought they were a pretty damn good team. I thought they were due for a Final Four appearance. And then I found out John Fulkerson got hurt. I knew it was probably a bad pick, and they ended up losing to Oregon State in the first round. I was not planning to pick them to go pretty deep, but yeah. Fulkerson is healthy right now, but he just hasn't been really that much of a factor this season, so But I'm picking them to go fairly deep. Obviously, I can't see them losing in the first round 2 years in a row. All right, moving on down. Let's go ahead and move on down to the East Regional. Baylor versus Norfolk State. I saw Norfolk State upset Missouri back in, I believe it was 2014, when 2 15 seeds beat number 2 seeds. I saw Norfolk State beat Mizzou. Obviously, I'm not going to pick them as a 16 seed to beat the reigning champs Baylor. I'll pick Marquette and Shaka Smart to beat North Carolina. North Carolina no longer has Roy Williams as the head coach. Thought I'd bring that up. And then we got St. Mary's versus the winner of Wyoming and Indiana. I'm going to pick Indiana in that matchup, but I'm going to have St. Mary's beat them, and then I'm going to pick UCLA over Akron. I'm going to pick Virginia Tech over Texas. I'll pick Purdue over Yale. Murray State, I'll pick them to beat San Francisco. I think Murray State's one of the best mid-major teams this season. So I'm going to pick them to beat USF, or San Francisco rather, because USF is also South Florida, who is not in the tournament. I'm going to pick Kentucky to beat St. Peter's. I'll pick Baylor over Marquette. I'll pick UCLA over St. Mary's. And UCLA made it to the Final Four last year, and I had them winning in that play-in game. And then getting to the Sweet 16, but that's as far as I had them going. I did not think that they were going to make it all the way to the Final Four, but having them in the Sweet 16 last year was a good call. They're going to be in the Sweet 16 again this season, I think. I'll pick Purdue over Virginia Tech, and now I'm going to pick Kentucky over Murray State, because while I think Murray State could make a fairly deep run, I think Kentucky is just too good. And so this is a really good matchup right here. Kentucky versus Purdue. Now, I was picking Purdue to go Final Four in a lot of the mock brackets I was seeing, but they don't play great defense. That's what I've been hearing about them. I'm going to pick Kentucky to beat them. And I'm also going to pick Baylor over UCLA. Yeah, this is probably the most boring region for me. Well, I do have an 11 beating a 6, but anyways, moving on to the final regional, which is the Midwest. This matchup here doesn't matter. I'm going to pick Texas A&M Corpus Christi over Texas Southern, but I'm going to have Kansas beat them nonetheless. I'll pick San Diego State over Creighton. San Diego State's my other team, by the way. I'm an alum, and they play great defense. And Creighton, yeah, they were just all right. Upset. We got an upset right here. I'm picking the Itsy Bitsy Spiders to beat Jordan Bohannon and what's that other guy's name? Well, I'm picking them to beat Iowa, and I'm going to pick South Dakota State over Providence. Yes. We got a 12 versus a 13 matchup. Have not seen one of those in a long time. And I also have an 11-14 over here. Rutgers versus Montana State. Yeah. I'm going to pick Iowa State over LSU. And I'm also going to pick Wisconsin over Colgate. Colgate nearly beat my Razorbacks last year, but they couldn't hold on. Well, they didn't nearly beat them. They had the lead. They had an early lead on them. And I'm going to pick USC over Miami and Auburn over Jacksonville State. That's another in-state matchup. I believe Jacksonville State is not in Jacksonville, Florida. It's in Alabama for some reason. I'll pick Kansas over San Diego State. I'm going to pick South Dakota State over Richmond. We have our Cinderella story right here. South Dakota State. And we could see a freaking SDSU versus SDSU matchup right here, but I don't think my Aztecs are going to beat Kansas, unfortunately. I got another upset right here going in Iowa State over Wisconsin. Iowa State literally won just 2 games last year. They're one of the best stories in this tournament. And I'm going to pick Auburn over USC, and that's Southern California, not South Carolina. Yeah. Hell of a job from TJ Etzelberger, I believe. That's how you pronounce his name. Taking Iowa State from like a 2-win team to being in the tournament and actually being the Sweet 16 in my bracket. But wait, they're going farther than that. I have them going to the Elite 8. Yes, and they'll be playing Kansas. South Dakota State's Cinderella story is over. Yes. I have an 11th seed Iowa State in the Elite 8. But that's not crazy because Oregon State made it last year as an 8 seed, so they are this year's Oregon State. And I found out this year Oregon State sucked. They won like 3 games after going to the Elite 8 last year. Jeez. Okay. So, moving on to our Final Four teams. I'm going to pick Duke over Arkansas. As much as that pains me. Coach K, in his final year as a head coach at Duke, is going to the Final Four. And I did not want to do this, but after they seriously disappointed me last season, I'm picking Tennessee to go to the Final Four. They're just a lot deeper this year. Fulkerson just has not been as much of a factor. They're a pretty deep team. They got a guy with 3 J's, Josiah Jordan James. Hell of a name. Trey J should be his nickname, so those are our first 2 Final Four teams. I'm going to pick Kentucky to beat the reigning champions. Yes, I just don't see Baylor making it all the way this year. And I'm going to pick Kansas over Iowa State. So there's my Final Four. We got Duke, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Kansas. And this is kind of a boring Final Four because we have 3 blue bloods here. And as we all know, the blue bloods have been disappointing as of late in the tournament. Man. And we got Tennessee, who would be in the Final Four for the first time ever. And I didn't want to have to pick them to go this far because they've just been disappointing. This is like my 3rd time picking them to be in the Final Four. And I'm picking Kansas to beat them. Let's just put it that way. And I'm going to pick Kentucky over Duke. Coach K loses in the Final Four in New Orleans to end his career, unfortunately. And my national champion pick, this is my 3rd time total I've picked them to win it all. Kentucky, UK. I'm just an SEC guy. What can I say? I have 2 SEC teams in this Final Four. I did not pick a single Big Ten team. Well, if Purdue can beat Kentucky, I could see them making it this far, but maybe not winning it all. And I get it. We've seen a Kentucky-Kansas matchup for the national championship. I didn't really want to pick something like that again, but I did. I think Oscar Tshiebwe, I think he's going to turn it up for the tournament. I really do. And tiebreaker, I don't know. I'm not very good at these. I'll just go 77 to 73 for some reason. Because, I don't know. I have no idea. The one year I actually picked the championship game correct, I got that one way off, so. And, alright guys, well, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And we'll see you, I guess, next year for the tournament. I just always have a good time doing these, and I'm going to continue to do them as long as I can. Alright, guys. So my Final Four, as I said, Duke, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Kansas. Alright. Goodbye.